I'm actually glad to be back home. I lived in the wonderful Buckeye State for about 13 years, from 73 to 85 as a student at the University of Dayton, and then as a student at Ohio State University. The group Kno.e.sis is, in fact, world-class, which is a term that sometimes is vague. In this case, it's very, very concise. This group has over 2,000 citations per faculty, tremendous amount of funding, and a tremendous amount of support for graduate students. Professor Ahmed is one of the most cited, as you've seen, and has been mentioned several times, computer scientists. In fact, he's my role model, somebody that I aspire to emulate. There is this notion of an H-index that measures not only the number of publications, but also the amount of times that each of the publications are cited. And Ahmed's record is one of the highest in computer science. Professor Bennett and Flax have one of the most influential papers that over the last 50 years published in the Journal of Human Factors. And overall, Kno.e.sis has attracted a top-notch class of faculty, and this is evidenced by the funding that they receive from all the all the federal agencies, such as NIH and NSF and Air Force Research Labs and so on. And in fact, funding from the top research labs, industry research labs, such as Google and IBM Research and Yahoo and so on and so forth. This is a tremendous success. And to round that, it's not only academic, purely academic and theoretical research, it's quite applied, and it's been translated into products and prototypes and actual companies. Don't pay attention to all the details on this slide, but basically just to show you the trend of funding, that the trajectory is going up in a very difficult environment where the trajectory of the funding is going up. This is partial, not of complete listing of all the faculty in Kno.e.sis. This is a list of statistics on about 7 out of the 15 faculty associated with Kno.e.sis. Overall, there's about $8 to $10 million of funding for the 15 faculty, tremendously supporting over 45 research assistantships for graduate students and postdocs. And there is actually a realistic plan to grow this amount over the next 5 and 10 years. As we all know, the biggest asset of any wonderful organization is the young people that it has and it supports and it mentors. I have to admit that at Purdue, myself and my colleagues, we always talk. In fact, only 2 days ago, I have email exchanges with my colleagues asking them to look at, or I'd say to look at Ahmed's program of how he mentors graduate students. It's a model that he has, and this is just coincidence that we were just exchanging emails about this on Friday. He's done a terrific job of mentoring graduate students and enabling them to do a lot more. Our graduate students are very naive compared to the students that are trained in Kno.e.sis and very capable. So some examples, Mina, who spoke earlier, has given a keynote address at an international workshop, which is something that we never even think of, our giving the opportunity or availing our students of such an opportunity. With students that have organized international workshops, they're, if you look at the amount of publications of the students is tremendous. But you look at something, program committees that graduate students serve on. This is a tremendous recognition. In fact, I don't think we've had any students at Purdue's computer science department, I'm ashamed to say, that have served on program committees. So this is tremendous. And this is something that doesn't happen on itself. It happens because of the quality of the students. As we've seen earlier, the testimonials from people at LexisNexis and IBM and HP Labs and so on and so forth. And so on and so forth. So I don't belabor the point, but the fact that the evidence is there that people in industry recognize and look up to the knowledge-based computing program at Wright State as the forefront, and semantic computing as perhaps the leading program in the country, in the world. So if you look at